What's up guys, Sean back with another video and the day in the life of the heaviest person in the world. I think there's a lot of morbid curiosity with people who just want to know what life's like, but it's really not that damn exciting. You lay in bed all day, you eat food, you barely get up to go to the damn bathroom, and you watch a hell of a lot of YouTube and sit there and think, I could do this better than them, I'm so much more entertaining, but you don't do it because you're kind of ashamed to just show your face in general. So, yeah, let's see what they're talking about. But I have a feeling it's going to be pretty uneventful.
The average adult male weighs around 190 pounds. The average adult woman around 165 pounds. Sadly, many adults tip the scales at far more than that.
Is that it? Shit, I weighed that at 12 after a diet.
As is evident by the rising obesity epidemic all over the world. Some people, however, go stratospheres beyond obesity. For one reason or another, they just get heavier and heavier until their weight slips into the four figures. The human body simply isn't meant to handle a half-ton of weight. So for those unfortunate few who weigh or have weighed 1,000 pounds or more, functional life is as difficult a goal to achieve as any other. Take the case of a Saudi Arabian man named Khalid bin
Hey, that's the guy called Fat Aladdin in the last one. He got the magic carpet ride that I never got. But also, your body it's not made for that weight, it tolerates it.
Shari. In August 2013, at just 22 years old, Shari made history, though probably not in the way he'd have preferred. At that time, he weighed an unbelievable 1,345 pounds, or 610 kilograms, making him the heaviest living person in the world, and only the second heaviest person ever. The 5'7" Shari's body mass index was an—
Bro, that can't be real life. There's no way. 1,345 pounds? Nah, I don't see that, man. That's over double what I was. And I thought I was like the upper echelon of fat.
An astronomical 204.
To be fair,
a normal BMI ranges anywhere from 19 to 25. For a man his height, that equals anywhere from 120 to 150 pounds, or 54 to 68 kilos. There doesn't seem to be many details out there as to how Shari got so big, though it's often the result of a disease such as hyperthyroidism. It's extremely hard to simply eat so much you wind up
or Burger Kingism. Burger Kingism? Yeah, that's it.
1,200 pounds overweight, though that likely played a significant role as well. Whatever the cause, Shari became such a household name he got the attention of Saudi King Abdullah. The king, clearly disturbed and worried for his subject, ordered Shari hospitalized until his weight became manageable. Of course, it's not someone that size could just walk to the hospital or even climb into the ambulance. His weight was so—
Oh my god, I wanted to jump on one of those things so bad. I was always worried I would pop it. I'd die to see this guy try it.
Overwhelming, Shari almost literally couldn't move. He had not in fact gotten out of bed in about 3 years. This meant that when a hospital came calling, a team of over 30 people had to blast a giant hole in the wall of Shari's house, slide both he and his bed onto a giant forklift, and sent him to the hospital that way. Once at the King Fahd Medical City Hospital in Saudi Arabia's capital city Riyadh, Shari began a rigorous weight loss routine overseen by a team of 21 medical experts. Their plan worked to—
I mean, but imagine they have to do demolition because you get so damn big. I think he could have just ran through the damn wall to be— well, not run. Speed trotted, okay? Through the wall.
Extremely quickly, as within 3 months Shari had lost over 330 pounds, or 150 kilos. What's more, according to team leader Dr. Ayed Al-Khatani, Shari's heart and lungs were performing better. He had more muscle strength, could actually move his feet, and reported less inflammation. He still weighed half a ton, but his body responding to the medically induced royally ordained crash diet was a good sign for the future. Just 3 months later, in February 2014, reports came out that Shari had lost even more weight. By then, he was roughly 630 pounds, meaning he had lost over 700 pounds in 6 months. While still—
Damn. That's a Dr. Now diet for real. They must have had him real restricted to drop that kind of weight. But good on you, man. That's crazy to drop that much weight. Granted, they probably were very, monitoring everything he did. So he couldn't exactly cheat. But I don't know when this took place. Maybe they didn't have DoorDash over there. I don't know.
Still big, Shari was now at a far more manageable weight, and his mobility had increased immensely. A video emerged of Shari taking his first steps in years with the aid of a walker. Since then, his weight loss has simply become more dramatic, culminating in a November 27 report by Al Arabiya. Backed up by video footage, the site claims Shari now weighs a mere 150 pounds, totally—
No shot! He went from Oh my god. He lost over 1,000 pounds? This guy's a friggin' legend.
Appropriate for a man his height. Being that these are foreign language sites and news reports, it's possible the figures are slightly off. However, you only need to look at Charisse before.
That's a different guy. I don't buy it first. Wait. Nope, that's the same damn nose. Son of a, that's the same guy. That's not even real life.
Before and after pictures to see an almost magical transformation from a 1,300-pound extreme health risk to a svelte, mobile, weight-appropriate modern miracle. Perhaps most amazing of all was...
Does anybody else think he looks like Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks right here? I used to love that movie as a kid.
How the entire time, regardless of his weight, Shari remained positive. King Fahd's medical director nicknamed him the Smiling Man for his boundless happiness in the face of suffering. And now that he's at a healthy weight and can hopefully stay there, his smile should only get wider and more infectious. While Shari's story is among the most dramatic, he's far from the only 1,000+ pound human to fight back against their weight. Take this.
Also, you guys really need to get better nicknames. The Smiling Man's not that good. I would have went with the Happy Heifer.
Story of Juan Pedro Franco, who essentially assumed the heaviest person alive throne after Shari abdicated it. After suffering an injury at age 17, Franco's weight began to rise and rise over the years, until reaching peak weight in October 2016. At that time, the 32-year-old Franco weighed 1,312 pounds, or 595 kilograms. By then, he didn't leave his bed, had diabetes and blood pressure issues, one of his lungs suffered blockage, and he was on oxygen all day, every day. For a kid who used to be able to...
Bro, but what do you do when you go... Well, you don't go to the barber. You kind of just do it yourself at that size. But also, what do you say? Like, I want the baby shark hairstyle? Like, why is he... The mohawk is pretty brave at that damn size.
Dance and date, it was a particularly painful rock bottom to hit. Realizing he had to do something or die, Franco zoned in on a 1-2 punch of diet and surgery. His doctor put him on a 6-month diet where he would eat nothing but healthy Mediterranean food. But by that point, mere wholesome food wouldn't be enough. And due to his extreme size, exercise simply wasn't a possibility at the time. So in May 2017, Franco underwent a gastric sleeve operation, which reduced his stomach size by almost 80%. 6 months.
Bro, that surgery saved so many people's lives. I know it saved mine. But I couldn't even imagine getting up to their weight. I was miserable at mine. So I don't know what the hell. Well, I do. That's had to be straight misery. They probably couldn't even move their legs from one side of the bed to the other.
After that came gastric bypass surgery, which made the stomach even smaller. As a result, he dropped over 500 pounds in 18 months. In February 2018, he reported a weight of 761 pounds, or 345 kilograms. He wasn't done either. The Guinness World Records, which in December 2016 officially bestowed the heaviest man title on Franco's head, reported that as of November 2018, he weighed 671 pounds, or 304 kilos. He still has plenty of work to do, thanks largely to excess fluid in his legs caused by his still untreated lymphedema. But doctors...
I was gonna say, man, I can't believe that they got that big. But once you think about it, there's gonna be a lot of fluid weight on them. Because I know I could put on 30 to 40 pounds in fluid. Like... So I think my starting weight would have been way more if they caught me on a swollen day, so...
hope that by treating that and by inserting a gastric band that won't let him eat more than what can fit into a couple shot glasses, he'll drop at least 310 pounds or 140 kilos more. Even without it, Franco is feeling the effects of losing nearly half his body weight, and he likes it. For the first time in forever, he's been able to walk more than a few steps before succumbing to exhaustion. Now he can walk several hundred steps at a time, lift small weights, do up to 20 squats in a row,
Damn, he had that dog in a headlock too. Just because you lost a little weight though, well not a little, he lost a lot of weight. But your arms are still pretty big to be like trying to choke out a puppy, just saying.
Far fewer pills for his blood pressure, and no longer has to be on oxygen all the time. He's at the point where he can do some of the work in bringing his weight down even further, and it sounds like he's more than ready for the challenge. If it sounds like everyone who weighs over 1,000 pounds wants nothing more than to lose the weight, that's because they do.
Oh my god, her butt has a butt. That's crazy, because somewhere in the world there's a guy that's into smothering that's like, hey, I want to be underneath that. Just saying, like, you heard of the Hurt Locker? We're going to call this one the Fart Locker, and this guy's just going to go in there.
It's not a record anyone really wants to hold, and that includes the ladies. Just ask Mayra Rosales, who up until a few years ago was the heaviest living woman in the world. Thanks to thyroid issues as well as excessive eating, in 2008 she weighed 1,036 pounds, or 470 kilos. She ultimately realized she had to lose the weight, but only did so after becoming infamous for the worst possible reason. In March 2008, Rosales' young nephew Alicio died from mysterious injuries.
Okay, I've heard this story. I believed it at first too. I now know that it was her covering for her sister because you guys told me. But that's also crazy that that was even a possibility that, like, the police department believed could happen.
Rosales confessed to causing his death, claiming she had rolled over him and crushed him. However, police soon declared her innocent, after doctors concluded Alicio died from blunt force trauma instead. Plus, it was clear Rosales was simply too large to have committed the crime. At her size, she could hardly move, let alone roll. As it turns out—
Oh my god, I can't believe. But, like, okay, you're fat whenever you get that big. It just kind of goes where the hell ever, honestly. You, like, melt into the bed. I wonder what she would look like if she got on her feet. Because she's going to be caked up to the damn factory. Like, Betty Crocker, give her a call. You got a new spokesperson.
out the killer was Rosales' sister, Alicio's mother. So why would Rosales take the blame for such a terrible crime? Basically, she felt she had no life left in her, that due to her size she merely existed, and preferred to go to prison rather than have her sister's surviving children be without their mother. However, once police arrested the real killer, Rosales realized she had to lose the weight, both for herself and the children. If she could get down to a manageable size, she realized she may be able to take custody of the kids. And so she started treatment, and her body responded immediately, shedding 100 pounds in just 10 days. However,
Damn, good for you, but a lot of that's probably fluid, but also a really strict diet. A lot of these people made pretty damn good changes in their life. I can't imagine just how much better their life got.
she was still way too big for the all-important lap band insertion, so she kept on working. Thanks to multiple surgeries and tough dieting, she managed to lose enough weight to qualify for a lap band. That plus several more surgeries to remove excess skin, bringing her total number of surgeries to 11, along with a dedicated adherence to a vegetable-heavy diet, resulted in one of the most dramatic weight losses in history. Mayra Rosales, a woman who once was so heavy and immobile she couldn't even perform basic tasks on her own, who once had a hole cut out of her wall so she could be transported to court during her murder trial, and who had to be—
Every one of these people are on their Wreck-It Ralph shit, like tearing the house down. But also the lap band, I'm surprised that anyone did that. My surgeon stopped doing them because they have a tendency to like slip and slide and have to be readjusted, so.
Be transported to hospitals in a U-Haul because no ambulance could fit her, had dropped over 800 pounds. She was now roughly 200 pounds, or 91 kilos, with a goal weight of roughly 170 pounds, and her quality of life couldn't be better. She's still fighting to gain custody of her nephews and nieces, but if the courts realize she can easily care for them as well as she's cared for herself, then it'll just be a matter of time before she achieves that goal as well. Sometimes people don't cross the 1,000-pound mark due to injury or disease. In some cases, extreme overeating is the sole culprit, such as in the case of
Yeah, me. Okay.
Kenneth Brumley. Once an active child who played multiple sports, Brumley gave up athletics in his late teens and instead endlessly ate. This culminated in 2010 when he reached a peak weight of 1,033 pounds, or 469 kilograms. This is to be expected when one's girlfriend feeds him roughly 30,000 calories a day. By that point, Brumley wasn't just confined to his bed. He had been confined for over 15 years.
What sick feeder chick did you find that you went from frickin' O.J. Simpson to like orange juice in your veins? Like, what happened here?
What's more, he hadn't been able to bathe for the last 4 years. Clearly something had to change. He, like many of the other morbidly obese people we've mentioned, saw gastric bypass surgery as his only option.
Hey, Dr.
And like
Now.
many of the others, his trip to the hospital was preceded by a team of experts, in this case firefighters, knocking down a wall in his house to get him out and on the road. Once at the hospital, the team of specialists placed him on an extremely strict diet, one where he could only consume 1,200 calories per day. This 96% reduction of his daily caloric—
Good old Dr. Now for you, baby. The Fat Avengers are here, baby, and we're not letting you tear down any more walls today.
intake garnered immediate results. In just his first 40 days on the diet,
Except
he
your
dropped
girlfriend's.
167.5 pounds, or 76 kilos. Strangely, there appears to be no information anywhere on what happened to Mr. Brumley after his initial weight loss. After all, he was still well over 800 pounds and had a long way to go before being considered healthy. Yet after his initial—
Isn't that a different guy? That looked like the Henry guy who sadly passed away. R.I.P.
appearance in the British documentary series Body Shock, nobody seems to have bothered following up on him. The documentary showed a family big into fast food, so it's certainly possible he lapsed back into his old habits. That would be unfortunate if the case, but it's sadly a reality for anyone that size.
Damn.
The human body isn't meant to be that big, but once it gets that size, it becomes extremely difficult to not be that big. It becomes the new normal as far as the body is concerned, and it wants nothing
Also, you do spend a lot of time lying around naked because everything's kind of damn hot.
more than to get back to the gargantuan unhealthy size it used to be. To drop hundreds of pounds and keep it off takes an unceasing combination of hard work, dedication, and being surrounded by a good support system. For his sake, let's hope Kenneth Brumley and anyone else who's struggling with weight issues even a fraction as severe as the heaviest people on Earth have all three.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of... They were more extreme than I even thought. I didn't think anybody could get up that big. Even though I know I've seen a list similar to this, I don't think I realized that these people were pushing 1,400 pounds. Like, that's just mind-blowing to me. But luckily, most of them made the change. I'd be interested to find that documentary on Body Shock that was on that one guy and see just exactly how he moved forward from there. If he did slip back or if he got back with the feeder chick, he ever got to play Stinky Twinkie. He took 4 years not bathing, so I can imagine how that Twinkie smelled. But alright guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.